Welcome to another episode of Live Dive. I hope you're having a great week so far. And before we dive into what we want to talk about today, I've got a few announcements. One of them, be sure to vote for the poll that is on Facebook at The Bridge or on Twitter at The Bridge 813. And the poll is this, is that every month I'd like for us as a group to start getting a little bit closer together, and I think a great way to doing that is to meet up for lunch after a Sunday morning service, again, once a month. So I've decided to give you 2 Sundays this month of October to choose from. You can either choose October 15th, which is this Sunday, or October 22nd, the following Sunday, that after church we meet together, just go somewhere to eat. Be sure to vote on that. You only got a couple more hours to vote. Let your voice be heard. The other thing is, remember that Sunday school is every Sunday at 10 a.m. upstairs in the gym mezzanine at the campus of the First Free Will Baptist Church of Tampa. The reason why I mention that is, well, there's free donuts every week. And I mean it. Every week we're going to have free donuts from Hole-in-One Donuts, which is really good. I've come to really grow to like those donuts. So please, if you're not really motivated to come, at least come for a free donut. How about that? And then we'll be able to have a good time. And then one last announcement is, I know I've been hammering this lately, but I'm going to continue to do that. Remember that at the end of the month, on Saturday, October 28th, we'll be going to the University of Tampa to experience an eerie evening at the Tampa Bay Hotel. Remember, University of Tampa used to be an old hotel, and a lot of creepy things happened there, so we'll be taking a tour and looking at things that have happened over the years. Again, it's Saturday, October 28th. Tickets are $25 a piece. Remember that. So by this Sunday, October 15th, either let me know that you want to come or give me the money for the tickets. That way we can know how many people want to go, and I can start making reservations for tickets. So anyway, please be sure to do that. All right, so let's dive into our scripture for today. You probably remembered that our theme of the month has been men of integrity. That's really been the theme of the month of October, and we've been focusing on different men that have shown integrity. And so this past week, we've been talking about Noah, the blameless man who needed grace. But today, I want to point out a simple truth. Nobody's perfect. How about that? Nobody is perfect. Now, if you remember on Sunday, during Sunday school, we talked about Noah trying to live a life of integrity in the midst of a culture that was very evil. But we also learned at the end of our Sunday school lesson, before we broke to go to church, that Noah didn't live perfectly. And we can see that in Genesis chapter 9, verses 20 and 21, that Noah, he was a husbandman, and that means that he planted a vineyard. And verse 21 said that he drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. So you probably know what just happened. He planted a vineyard, but he got carried away with his own drinking and got so drunk that I guess he thought it was a good idea to take his clothes off. And it's something that can be kind of tempting to find funny, but it isn't a funny story. It's a story that caused a lot of embarrassment to Noah and his family, and probably caused God some embarrassment. But the thing that's interesting about this is that the story of Noah kind of ends after that, after telling us about this mistake that Noah made. And so with that being said, I feel like there's 2 things that we can take away from this kind of final ending to Noah's story. One is that trying to live with integrity doesn't mean that you're going to live perfectly. When you take a look at, Moses, Noah, David, you see Abraham and Sarah and Esther and some of these they didn't live perfectly. They made mistakes. And I was thinking about that. That still doesn't mean they didn't try to live righteously. They knew they weren't perfect, but they tried their best to live as perfect as they could. I was thinking about a quote from actually a guy we all recognize, Tim Tebow. Once he said this, that I'm not perfect. I'm never going to be. And that's the great thing about living the Christian life and trying to live by faith, is you're trying to get better every day. You're trying to improve. And I thought that was really went along well with what we want to talk about today. Again, how, just because you're trying to live with integrity doesn't mean you're going to live perfectly. So don't be discouraged when you do make mistakes. But there is something else here. the other thing I want you to take away from this, that even though the story of Noah ends at him, getting drunk and him taking his clothes off and making a fool of himself, it didn't really ruin his legacy ultimately. In fact, we can take a look at the Bible and see what other writers, other prophets, other great men of God had to say about Noah. First of all, you have to remember that the book of Genesis, where we're reading from, it was written by Moses, who lived years after Noah was around, and he said that Noah was perfect, and he walked with God. And there was Isaiah, a great prophet. He used Noah as a testament to God's mercy in Isaiah 54. Then the prophet Ezekiel listed Noah as a man delivered from judgment by God because of his righteousness. And then in 2 Peter 2:5, Peter describes Noah as a preacher of righteousness. So even though Noah made this mistake, and that kind of was where his story ended, we see that his legacy is still one of righteousness, a man who tried his very best to live with integrity and to live righteously. And it's because I believe Noah, honestly, even though he made that mistake, he probably picked himself back up and realized, okay, I made a mistake. He asked for forgiveness, and he moved on. And I was thinking about this, it reminded me of a quote that I liked that said, no matter how far gone, no matter how far wrong you've gone, it's never too late to turn around. And that's something I want you to remember today. No matter what you've done, no matter, even if you have been trying to live a righteous life, a life of integrity, and then you fell and you made a mistake, it's okay. It's not ultimately going to ruin your legacy as long as you pick yourself back up, ask God for forgiveness, and you move on. Just remember, nobody's perfect. But what you do have to do as part of integrity is knowing that you're not perfect, but you're still going to live a life of integrity. Anyway, just remember that tonight. Hopefully that's an encouragement to you. Be sure to come to church tomorrow. We'll, instead of meeting for our Wednesday night class, we'll be meeting with the youth group for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes service at 7 o'clock. Meet with us at the gym at the First Free Will Baptist Church of Tampa. Until then, though, have a good night, guys. God bless.